Hello, Joe. Welcome to the backstage of our Metals Investor Forum.
Good to see you again, Gwen.
So since we haven't done one of these backstage Metals Investor Forum interviews before, let's make sure that the audience knows who you are and who Outcrop is. Now, Outcrop, in its current formation, I would say, is sort of a new company. So why don't you just take us quickly through the backstory that's brought Outcrop to the sort of, I think, exciting point that you're at today.
Yeah, we were around a long time as Miranda Gold Corp. I say for a good part of its existence, it wasn't that serious of a technical company. And actually in about 2005, I believe, is Paul Van Eden was on the board or had financed Miranda, and pretty much said that in order to finance again, he wanted technical people. So he hand-selected our CEO, Ken Cunningham. And then Ken, I had worked with Ken for years, excellent guy, excellent manager, and a good friend. And he hired me immediately as VP. I quit my job with Placer Dome. Great job with Placer Dome at the Corp joint venture. And I was just looking at Nevada as, hey, nothing's happened. I mean, outside of Headframe, you had Long Canyon, you had Spring Valley, and you had a bunch of chatter going on in the Walker Lane, as always, and it's still just
always.
It is really. I mean, and then so I wanted to go someplace, finish my career more or less, whenever that is, where you could walk over outcropping ore bodies, and the only place left in the Andes. And in South America. I didn't want to go to Africa. I mean, I'm not opposed to Africa, but I preferred South America. And actually, I had experience in Colombia from 1997 at Marmato, when it was a serious deal to work in Colombia. Our drill foreman actually got kidnapped. But in any case, I thought back to those experiences there and had kept some of those contacts. And I wanted to go someplace that was new, low discovery rate, not everything kicked over, not every rock with 20 sample tags on it. And Ian Slater was actually on the board at the time. And I said, hey, let's go to Colombia. And he high-fived me and we went to Colombia. So
that sounds
but I tell you, it took some real time, to learn the geology, to learn what was significant in the way of occurrences, to learn the government, and to learn what am I looking at in the context of just an occurrence or a system. And that really took 8 years of trial and to really come up with the portfolio we have now. But really, our kind of internal motto is if it's not an outcropping ore body, we're not interested. Now, I shouldn't say ore body, outcropping deposit.
Sure.
But I mean, that's what we look for, is big outcropping. You go, every sample you take, every series of samples you take is high grade. And we're interested in high grade. Yeah.
And so you now have a really interesting portfolio of projects in Colombia, but in the interest of time, let's focus on the one that you are currently focused on, which is Santa Ana. So take us through, the backstory there, what you know and what you're drilling for.
Well, Santa Ana, we had a property we were taking along in the Calca department, which ended up being a little bit too difficult and expensive for us. So we decided we'd look for a partner. In the interim, I wanted something to replace that quickly. Santa Ana became available. That was actually, we did a share purchase from Ian Slater, who had taken that as a part of a settlement from secured debt from when San Ramon got into trouble. And I knew Ian and I wanted the property, and so we worked out a deal on it. Ian had a great philosophy early on, which he had a historical book of Colombian mining, and he would try to go get a piece of any district in these old books. And really, but that's the state of exploration in Colombia, is those things were still available. So, and really, as it turned out, Santa Ana is a good property, probably the best that Ian had collected together. I'm still lusting after Betis a little bit, but that's another story down the road. But, so Santa Ana had historic mining from 1550 at least. There's records in the Spanish archives, and those have actually been downloaded to the University of Indiana, I think. So they're good records for what they are. Whether their accuracy is questionable, but they're good records. And basically, it's a carve out of the best part of the Mariquita Silver District, which extends for almost 18 kilometers. And there was 2 small-scale operating mines we actually went and looked at. And then there's probably 60 or more workings on the Santa Ana project that we have, besides our applications around it. But on the 700 hectares that we have, there's about, I would say there's almost 60 old workings that access vein. So, and it's a good distribution. So it's just, I would imagine there's probably been over 500,000 ounces of silver produced. The Spaniards, they didn't know they were mining gold silver alloys. So we kept on getting these outrageous gold numbers too. And we realized the Spaniards were just probably producing bullion. And so we've got plus 20, plus 30 gram gold with, multi-kilogram silver. It's narrow vein system, but it's Brutica, that's Brutica. Obviously, it's almost trite, but it's the Holy Grail. I mean, that's $1 billion market cap on veins from 0.3 meters to a meter that are clustered, and we've got good potential.
Yeah. And you are, before COVID hit, you had already been drilling and obviously have more plans. So just take us quickly through what this first real set of programs or set of holes is trying to demonstrate.
Yeah, well, COVID only shut us down long enough to get to do the proper applications for the essential business exemption. And once we did that, and then we did a safety plan, we told them we would be mostly man-camp to avoid any social interaction we could. And so we went to drilling in January, end of December, actually, right after Christmas. Mm-hmm. What we wanted to do first, and we're still doing, is we wanted to define what I'm not supposed to call ore shoots, but I can call them high-grade mineralized bodies. Because if we understand 1 and understand 2 or understand 3, typically ore shoots in a big district like that become very predictive fairly quickly. And once we knew that these things were over 200 meters strike and over 200 meters deep, and even though they were 1 meter, they did swell to 3 meters locally, and they usually were in a couplet or triplets rather than one vein. We put in 1,300 meters of drilling on what's the La Ivana. It's 1.5 kilometers away from a previous good discovery, and by a previous company. And every hole hit. And I don't mean just hit. I mean just screamers. And it's like, oh, yay, this is a good way towards the end, good scenario towards the end of my career, So now what we're doing is we're really coming in slowly. We're advancing aggressively. We're doing soils on 75 meters. The veins are expressing well. We're seeing vein boulders. We're doing trenches on 150 meters, and that's going to represent 14 kilometers of cumulative vein on the property. And we're going to drill from now almost pretty steady until the first quarter of 2021, and it'll be 13,000 meters.
That's a big program, and a consistent effort. You're going to be very focused on delineating. I mean, 14 kilometers of vein. That's I mean, it's a big number, but that's a good thing when you're hoping for regular ore shoots within these veins. You just have to keep marching along and looking for them, right?
Yeah, we just put out a press release yesterday, I think, and we showed some of the vein boulders on the target we're moving to next. And some of those boulders on surface run between 7 and 11 grams gold. Silver is typically depleted when it's oxidized. It leaves zinc, but so it's not really a concern. As long as the gold's staying and the silver's there, but depleted. And what we do is I'm just keeping a count, and I think we've got 3 ore shoots now, or 3 high-grade mineralized bodies now, and I think that we'll keep knocking them off. And what I expect is as a comfortable minimum is every kilometer is going to have about 2 or 3 of those ore shoots.
Yeah.
Well, ore shoots, not real.
We forgive you.
To break. Yeah. Hard habit to break. I shoot. I just say a shoot.
Well, thanks for running us through the story, giving everybody a little bit of an introduction there for those who didn't know. Yeah, I mean, you'll be pumping out news. That's the nature of drilling this larger program and doing this much groundwork. Everyone should keep watching Outcrop because there's going to be a lot of information coming. I
think so, and if that 13,000 works out like we think, we'll be teeing it up for a 42,000 meter resource delineation program. So.
Just like you're talking about ore shoots, you're already talking about resource delineation. That shows confidence. And I would say from a geo with experience, that's not just blind confidence. That's substantial.
Well, the Spaniard slaves probably took out at least 500,000.
Right. Yeah.
More. So, it didn't go away. They didn't stop, because they were out of war. So.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I mean, this is career high. Exciting. It is. I love it.
That's fantastic. Perfect. Well, thank you, Joe. And let's definitely stay in touch. We'll do this again soon.
You bet. I look forward to it. Thank you very much.